Good afternoon, it's Peter James from Career Life Transitions, and today I would like to talk to you about retaining the brains. There is a whole raft of people going through the organisation known as the baby boomers, of which I'm definitely one of them, who will be retiring, are already retiring, and will be retiring over the next 5 to 10 years. Now, some of these people have been in your organisation for a number of years, 20, 30, 40 years, and in some cases will probably have information about your organisation's history, its past, mechanical information and what have you, which is probably valuable to you moving forward. Now, that's especially true if people have worked in an organisation, have set things up and what have you, and especially in the mechanical aspects of things where they are looking after it, that piece of equipment, or that area of equipment, if you like. Certainly one of the things that companies are doing, watching these people retire and then hiring them back as contractors, and usually at a nice healthy increased rate. So what do you need to do to try and retain the brains of the organisation? Well, our suggestion is that you start to think about it early. If you have a range of people in your organisation that may be looking at retiring over the next number of years, if it's 3 to 5 years out, that's the time you should be looking at working with this group of people. Now, how you go about working with them? Well, they have a body of knowledge. It would start by sitting down and finding out what that body of knowledge is and what applies from the past and into the future. Now, with that information, then you would be looking at, well, where do we need to put that information? Now, I've worked for organisations that have tried to set up knowledge banks and all that type of stuff. It turns into a disaster. It's usually poorly managed, no one can find anything. Some people don't put any information in there, and other people put enormous amounts of information in there. Either way, it almost turns into an absolute pig's breakfast. So, our suggestion is you look at a mentoring program. So have people retiring out of the organisation. What information are they likely to take with them, and what information do you want to retain? Once you've discovered that, where do you want to retain it, and is that about developing people in your organisation? So setting up a mentoring program for people who are leaving the organisation with young people that are coming up through the organisation does two things. Number one thing is that, three things actually. One, it starts to train and develop young people and have them mixing with the older people in the organisation. So you get some cross movement there. Number two, it does start to transfer the information you don't want to lose out of the organisation. And number three, for someone retiring for the organisation, it would make them feel fantastic to be able to know that all the effort they've put in over the last period of time is not being lost, and the organisation is interested in having them involved in transferring their skills prior to them retiring. Once they're retired and they're out of the organisation, maybe they're on a fishing boat, maybe on that world yacht trip, whatever, they may not be able to be available to bring back into the organisation again. So really think about this retirement issue. It's a major issue around the place. There will be a large number of people retiring out of your organisation over the next 10 years. Stop and think what that means for your organisation. It can be an extremely expensive exercise trying to reinvent or regain all that information that at the moment you may be just freely letting walk out the door. So take the time to think about it. At Career Life Transitions, we take this issue very seriously and are talking and working with organisations at the moment about this problem. So have a think about it. Give us a call at Career Life Transitions if you want to discuss the issue of retirement, the impending problem of the brains walking out of your organisation. Thank you for listening. This is Peter James.